Networking Squared, Saturday morning with Jerrio L. Crawford. We appreciate you tuning in. We're talking to Dr. Pavel Benz, chiropractic. And the question we had, and talking about dancing and having a good time here, Al, how important is balance, and what does that all have to do with being adjusted correctly?
Well, I think that what we're talking about and what my reference is to this is that balance, not only, I'm not talking about falling over, but I'm talking about balance in your life, having a balanced life. And I'd like you to elaborate on that, Doctor.
Well, yes, we have to live our lives in balance in every dimension, physically, emotionally, and as far as nutrition and chemistry is concerned.
If a person has not been walking that path and they have not, is it something where, is there a time where it's too late, or is it still something that they can get involved in chiropractic and you can give that quality of life back to them?
Definitely. It's never too late. Our body is an amazing machine. Remove interference, it heals. It's a self-healing, self-regulating organism.
That's beautiful. And I can tell you, I know it's been life-changing for me. I feel so much better. I have so much more energy. I find that my thought process is a lot clearer, thank God. But it's something where it's been a very positive thing for me. So it's something where I think that everybody needs to look at this and to be able to say they need to get evaluated. They need to come in and they need to be checked. And I obviously you encourage that, and it's really for all ages. You have 8 kids, you said, right?
Yes.
And tell me, you had indicated that you are actually adjusting your children right from birth, right?
That's right. All of them were adjusted.
Okay, and do you notice between like your children and their friends, do you see dramatic differences between the health of your children versus the kids around them?
Sure, definitely. Their immune system is stronger. They don't come down with things. If they do, they get over it very quickly. There is research that they took 200 chiropractors' children and 200 pediatricians' kids, and pediatricians' kids had like 80% antibiotic usage and the ear infections, while chiropractors had 31.
Wow. That's amazing stuff. You know, Richard Kroll just sent a message here on Facebook, and his daughter had a baby.
Right.
And she had high blood pressure.
Exactly.
And I'm reading the note here. And in several visits, Dr. Benz was able to lower her blood pressure without medicine, and which would have prevented her from breastfeeding, which is very, very critical. And he just said, I was blown away by that. And he said, I was a skeptic. Now I believe because I actually saw. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, definitely. Richard came concerned one day. He's my patient, and he said, I'm concerned about my granddaughter, actually. And I said, what's going on? Tell me. Maybe I can help. That his daughter went to the doctor, and she had high blood pressure, pretty high. And doctor wanted to put her on medicine. And she said, well, no, I want a nurse. And he said, well, you can't nurse then. And what happened is we examined, she came in right away next day, we examined her and found interference to her nervous system, especially that goes to the heart area. And we started working with her, adjusted her, blood pressure started coming down after a few visits, and I introduced you to proper nutrition. She's taking omegas right now, probiotics. That's the good, healthy bacteria that we need to have, which everything helps to reduce stress in the body. We now have her exercising, and she's doing great, and the little baby's a patient now, too.
That's great.
How's awesome. That for a great story?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know I go, my wife goes, my daughter goes, and it's something where it's important. It's a real important part of my life now.
We have been involved in networking, and I end up going out listening to people speak, which I really enjoy. And for the doctor, he does seminars. You do these once a week at your office.
Yes. You're
doing them once a month at a restaurant,
right,
which they have a meeting room that you do. And what kind of things do you talk about?
We talk about 3 secrets to stress management in those restaurant setting, and see how that's working. And we teach about stress, how to eliminate it, why we get sick, how the stress affects us, how the nervous system filters all this stress, and when it's interfered with, the problems result.
Okay.
And if people want to get involved with going to those, how do they get the details on the times and the dates and stuff for it?
Just call my office.
And that number would be?
586-978-9900, or you can contact us on the web at www.bentschiro.com.
All right. And then, Erica, you had talking about the speaking.
Yeah, I kind of got two kind of questions for you here, because I'm going to go back to what Al was asking you. I was reading that you have stretching and strengthening exercises to help your patients. Now, is that after they get started, or is that something they get started on as soon as they come into the office?
Well, it depends where they are. If they're severe problems they have, then we start adjusting first and get them feel better and relaxed and get stressed down. And after that, as they're able to and they're more motivated, we start them on stretching and exercise regimen.
Yeah, 'cause I'm a big stretcher. I love stretching. And also, you're a member of the Doctor Speakers Bureau.
Yes.
You're telling me that you guys go out into the community. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, what you guys do?
Yes, we teach our community. We're passionate, excited about sharing this message of wellness. This is what our world needs to hear. And we can go out to companies or groups, organizations, and do the different presentations, workshops, or we can do the screenings. And when people come in to get checked, whatever the fee is, we donate it back to the charity.
Oh, that sounds like a great setup you guys got going.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
One of the things that I think we really want to spend some time on is talking about your website and the things that it can do, about the medications and things of that sort. Can you talk about that with the interaction and all of that with the website?
Yes, we want it to be a source of health, everything health to our patients, so they can find out what drugs they're taking, the side effects, how that interacts with the food or vitamins, and so on. So everything is there. Whatever condition they're concerned about, they can find it there.
And so is it something that you have to be a patient to be on that website, or is it open, or how does that work?
No, that's open for everyone.
Well, let's go over the website again. I want to make sure that we're getting it spelled correctly, and go ahead and spell it out for us. For our listeners, we'll probably get that out on Facebook too, but I would like for you to spell it out. And if you get a chance, if you're online right now, pull that up, and I want you to take a look at this website. Go ahead, Doctor.
It's bentschiro.com. That's BENCECHIRO.com.
Okay.
And Jerry, I know you had spent some time on that. What were the thoughts that you had from the site?
I like the fact that you talked about vitamins, you talked about medicines, and how they interact between each other, and how important that is.
Yes, there are many times people don't realize the interactions and how it's harming them.
Well, and I know, Al, you and I were talking about something this week, and I thought as we were preparing for the show, but if you take this kind of drug and you do this, it kind of either takes away or actually creates something bad in your life.
Yeah, because what you can have is you can be going to a doctor for one situation, and you're going to a different doctor for another situation, and the medications can actually be counteractive with each other.
And it's not just the medications. I mean, we're talking about vitamins, and vitamins can change interaction. Is that correct, Doctor?
That's right.
So, and one of the questions somebody just sent in, and they're going, why do people turn to drugs and surgery before they consider wellness and a chiropractor?
Because they don't know what chiropractic is about, most people. That first premise is that our body is a self-healing, self-regulating organism. It can overcome anything. But it has to have what it needs to stay in balance and to heal. If there is interference, I give an example like a sliver. If you have a sliver in your wound, that body cannot heal until it's removed, right? There is interference. Body's trying to heal, but it can't.
So many times we're taking medications to mask symptoms of something that's not working.
Yep.
Exactly.
And we're not healing it. We're not making it better. We're just covering up what's wrong with it.
Right.
Well, I had a question, and this was one of these things I'm going, did he really say that, and did he mean it? And I'd like him to explain it to me. And one of your statements, and I thought it was a pretty strong statement, that stress causes all diseases. Is that something you believe?
That's right. That's the fact.
So it's a fact. Stress causes all diseases. So if we can take your contention, if we can take the stress out of our lives, we will actually live healthier.
Well, we cannot take stress away completely because that's death. But we can minimize it, and we can eliminate the stress that we have accumulated over the years from our nervous system so body can heal, because the stress damages our nervous system.
All right. And you did list the types of stresses, and for our audience, can you give me those again? What are the type of stresses that we are fighting?
Sure. Stress comes in 3 dimensions: physical, emotional, and chemical.
All right, so let's just back up. So physical stress would be what? Car accident? Explain a couple of those.
Exactly. Well, birth process, like we discussed already, is the first one. Falls, injuries, traumas, repetitive motion, sitting.
Oh, okay, like carpal tunnel.
Right.
That would be a stress. Okay, and I never really thought of that as a stress.
Right.
So physical stress.
Okay, and then the second stress, you said emotional stress?
Emotional, that's right. Depression, nervousness, irritability, all those things we have. All this stress is processed through our nervous system, and when it becomes overwhelming, body cannot adapt and breaks down, damages our nervous system.
So what's happening is that people are taking antidepressants and they're taking all these other medications where in reality their diet or exercise or adjustments could really eliminate the need for all that medication.
Exactly. Well, let me tell you about Dr. Sperry. He's a famous Nobel Prize winner for brain research. He found that brain gets its energy and nutrition from spinal motion. So if the spine is stiff and locked up and misaligned and damaged, injured, the brain is not getting proper nutrition. Just like a windmill, when it's turning, it's generating electricity, right? Same thing happens to our brain. In order to be healthy, in order to have great mental capability, spine has to be in good alignment and proper motion.
Has there been any ties to like Alzheimer's with chiropractic?
Yes.
And so it's something but is there a point where it's too late from an Alzheimer's standpoint?
Well, it depends how far it's gone, but it's never too late to have a healthy lifestyle, to change lifestyle and provide the body what it needs as far as nutrition, movement, and mental ability is concerned.
So when somebody comes in to visit you, do they get to sit down and kind of do an interview with you as you interview them? Because I'm sure they have a lot of questions. Can they actually talk with you then?
Oh, sure. It's a one-on-one, very detailed. We listen, we address their concerns and tell them what's possible. If they correct their subluxations, what's possible, what's the consequence if they don't. It's devastating to the health and well-being.
All right.
I think one of the statements that you made earlier when we were talking is that our healthcare system is really not. It's really sickness care.
Exactly.
And so what you're offering is a fix to that, a much better way, and I think it's really about a quality of life statement, really.
In every dimension.
All right. So where are you located?
We are on Mound Road, just north of 17 Mile in Sterling Heights.
All right. And is it in an office building? What kind of building are we looking for?
A small plaza. It's called Allied Plaza.
Allied Plaza. And your hours of operation?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 to 12, then 2 to 6, and Tuesday, 2 to 6, and Saturday, 9 to 11.
All right. And all of that is on your website?
Yes.
All right. Well, we're going to talk a little bit more on the other side of the break. We're going to get some more of these questions. This is pretty fascinating stuff, isn't it, Al?
I love it. I'm really, really happy he's here today, and I hope our listeners are listening, and this is a way that you can feel better.
You can't network if you're not feeling good. So Networking Squared, a Saturday morning. Thank you, Doctor, for being here. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back.